Hey there everybody. I thought I would do another video. I haven't done one for a while. I've taken some time off, which not from playing games but just from recording games. Been experimenting, playing different games, payoff pitch, history maker, replay baseball, inside pitch, and of course strat-o-matic. And about a year ago, I would say, I guess it's about a year ago, I don't remember how far ago it was, but one of the members of the tabletop community, or one of the people that certainly has been involved in the tabletop community, not doing videos but just participating and making comments and so forth, is Derek Oxenrider. And about a year ago, Tabletop Earl and myself, in different occasions, did a tribute game for Derek Oxenrider. His brother was unfortunately killed in a drunk driving incident, but one of the great memories that Derek had with his brother was this game from July 13th, 1979 at Royal Stadium in Kansas City, between Texas and Kansas City. And I don't remember the exact dates that Earl and I did those videos on the game, but the game itself was July 13th was the day it was played. And so I was thinking about that during the week, and I was like, man, it's got to be getting close to that actual date. I looked it up, and lo and behold, it was July 13th. Well, tonight, as I'm recording this, it is July 12th, so I'm going to post it tomorrow, which will be July 13th, and it'll be the anniversary of that game. So if Derek is still out there, hopefully he is and is doing well, then this is for you. Kind of a, don't know if we'll try to make it an annual occurrence, but it's just one of those things that came to my mind when July rolled around. I said something was going on with that, and I had to go back to the old videos and find the date. And it was in fact July 13th, 1979 that this game was played in Kansas City. Now Earl played it, Tabletop Earl played it with Status Pro, and I followed the next day playing it with Payoff Pitch. So today I'm going to try something different and play it with Strat-o-matic. Now I don't have every single card for these players because I don't have the extra players. I just bought the 79 game, the actual board game itself, with the 79 cards a while back, and so it's the very bare bones cards for the major players. So there are a couple lineup changes, but for the most part I've kept the same lineup the way it was in that game. So let's look at those lineups now that we mention it. First, we'll start with the visiting Texas Rangers. Leading off and playing second base will be Bump Wills. Batting second and playing third base will be Buddy Bell. Al Oliver is in center field. He will hit third. Oscar Gamble is the DH. He will bat cleanup. Pat Putnam's at first. He will hit fifth. Johnny Grubb is in right field, hitting sixth. Now here's the one change to their lineup. In the actual game, Mike Jorgensen played left field, but I don't have a Jorgensen card. I looked it up. He is in the extra players, but I don't have the extra players. So Billy Sample is going to take his spot and bat seventh. Jim Sundberg's the catcher, hitting eighth, and Nelson Norman, the shortstop, batting ninth. And pitching is Steve Comer. For Kansas City, Willie Wilson leads off in left field. Now the change for Kansas City is in the second spot. They had Steve Braun as their DH, but I don't have a Steve Braun card, so I brought out Hal McRae to be the DH. The rest of the lineup is the as-played lineup. Amos Otis in center will bat third. George Brett hits cleanup at third base. Darryl Porter is the catcher, hitting fifth. Al Cowens is in right field, hitting sixth. Pete Lecoq, who was the nephew of the late Peter Marshall of Hollywood Squares fame, bats seventh. Frank White, second baseman, will bat eighth. And the shortstop, Freddie Patek, will bat ninth, with Dennis Leonard on the mound. And again, it was played July 13th, 1979. So as I get my clipboard all ready to go and all my setup ready to go, we are ready for some Strat-o-matic baseball to honor once again the memory of Derek Oxenrider's brother, and Derek Oxenrider with the memories that he had with his brother. So Dennis Leonard is going to be in the box, and stepping to the plate is second baseman Bump Wills. This is strictly advanced. These cards were not designed. They don't have any ratings for super advanced, and in my little hiatus, I've noticed when I played Strat, I'm kind of leaning toward the advanced only and not the super advanced, because it saves me a lot of time with this D20 rolls all the time. So I think the game goes a little smoother. I don't feel like I miss a whole lot. So, you know, some people like the super advanced, and that's great. I think there might be a reason why it's called Sad V, because you can be a little sad playing if you play too much, and it gets a little cumbersome. So I like just the advanced. That's what we're going with. Got the advanced fielding charts here. So we are ready to go. And Derek, if you're out there, this one is for you. So we're ready to go. It is Bump Wills to start us off. We get a 1-6 Bump Wills against a right-hander Dennis Leonard. On a 1-6 is a ground ball to third. And we're underway as George Brett handles that one with zero problem. Brings up Buddy Bell, the third baseman. We get a 3-9 for Bell, and that's a grounder to short, so Patek fields it. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 ground balls. Dennis Leonard going along smoothly. Here's Al Oliver, center fielder. That is a 6-10, first time off of Leonard's card. 6-10 is a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Amos Otis. He is a 2 with an E3. So a 2, and that's a 10, so I'm pretty sure it's going to go to the error check. Center fielder at 10 does go to the error check, so he is an E3, the -4 arm. E3 and a 10. E3 and a 10 for a center fielder. 10 is a fly ball B, so it's a good play for AO. Otis, my man, makes the play, and the Rangers go down quietly. 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. So we go to the bottom of the first. It is Kansas City coming to bat. It's Texas nothing, and the Royals coming to bat. Here is Steve Comer, the right-hander. And in '79, Comer was 17-12, 3.68 ERA. Dennis Leonard was 14-12 with a 4.08, so pretty even matchup. And so Willie Wilson will lead things off. Speedster. Want to keep him off the bases if you're the Rangers. First pitch, it's a 2-3, and that's a ground ball to short, and that will do it. Ground ball to Nelson Norman for 1 away. Brings up the DH, Hal McRae. Again, he is a substitute because I don't have Steve Braun. And we get a 5-9 off Comer, and that is a ground ball to second. That's going to be 2 outs. And you're thinking maybe, all right, well, Braun's a lefty. That might have altered the results of that play because it's off the pitcher card, but Comer against a lefty on the 5-9, same result, ground ball to second. So whether it's a righty or lefty, in that case, it did not matter. 2 up, 2 down, and Otis, my man, Amos Otis, famous Amos, he is stepping to the plate, center fielder. George Brett's on deck, should he reach. 2-3 is going to be a ground ball to short, so nobody's getting the ball out of the infield for the Royals. 3 ground balls, 3 easy outs, and 1 inning is in the books, and we are scoreless here at Royal Stadium. Dennis Leonard back on the bump, and he'll be facing Oscar Gamble. Now Oscar Gamble was later traded to the Yankees, which is why he has a Yankees on his card, but in this game he was still, on July 13th, he was still a Texas Ranger. Or actually, I take it back, I'm not sure which way that went. I think he started with New York, started with Texas, then went to New York. I guess that's how it worked. Either way you go, he was with Texas in this game. So here's Gamble. 6-7 against Leonard, a lefty. 6-7 is a strikeout. So first strikeout for either pitcher. 1 away, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Pat Putnam. To 2-10, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. So not much offense early on. Brings up Johnny Grubb, right fielder. 2-10 for Johnny Grubb, and that's a solid single, first hit of the ball game for Grubb. And that brings up Billy Sample. Again, he is replacing Mike Jorgensen. And I could have used Richie Zisk, but Sample's a better defender, so I gave up a little bit of offense to get better defense. 6-8 against Dennis Leonard is a fly ball to center, and that's going to end the top of the second. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score here at Royal Stadium. And Steve Comer will now take to the hill for his second inning of work, and he's going to be facing George Brett. 6-7 for Brett against Comer, lefty, is a pop up to third. One away. Brings up Daryl Porter. 4-8 against Comer is going to be a walk. So it's first base runner from the Royals is a walk to Porter. Brings up Al Cowens, the right fielder. 1-5 for Cowens is another walk. So back-to-back walks. And Comer was rolling, but now he's running to a speed bump here. And here's Pete Lecoq. See if X gets to square. 1-9. 1-9 is a base hit. 1-3 is a double. 4-20 is a single. 2 stars for both. So a run's going to score. It is a 12, so it is a single, but it's 2 stars, so Porter will scamper across the plate to score. Kansas City takes a 1-0 lead. Cowens goes to third. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Frank White. Texas needs a double play. 6-9. 6-9 is a fly ball center field B. That's a sacrifice fly with that B, so Cowens will come in thanks to the sacrifice fly by Frank White. 2 down, but 2 runs are in. Lecoq still at first, and it brings up the number 9 hitter, Freddie Patek. 5-5 for Comer, and that is a 1-9 triple, 10-20 double. The triple will definitely score the run. Double, we don't know yet. 1-9 is a triple. It's a 7, so it is a triple for Patek, and that will score Mr. Lecoq. So X does get the square, and it's 3-0 Kansas City. Comer has to catch his breath and see if he can't get some order restored here. Here's Willie Wilson, 5-7. Switch hitter batting left, 5-7s. A fly to right, and that's going to finally end the inning. But a 3 spot by the Royals against Mr. Comer. And after 2 complete from Royal Stadium, it is Kansas City 3 and Texas nothing. And we'll head now to the top of the third as I organize my cards here from the previous inning. Make sure everybody's in the right order. Alright, Jim Sundberg, catcher, will lead things off to start the top of the third. And we get a 3-7 for, and that's a base hit, solid single for Sundberg. So leadoff single brings up the number 9 hitter, Nelson Norman, the shortstop. 2-4 for Norman is a pop up to short. 1 away. Back to the top of the order and bump Wills. 3-4 for Wills is a ground ball second base A. That's a 4-6-3 double play. And so much for the Rangers here in the top of the third. So the single goes for naught as Leonard gets the twin killing, and we go to the bottom of the third. Still 3-0 Kansas City. Comer will try to regroup here and get this inning off to a good start. Here's Hal McRae. 2-4 is a ground ball to short, so McRae grounded to short in the first. He grounds to short again here in the fourth. I'm sorry, in the third. I'm in the wrong spot up here on that. Put it down here. Would help to put the score in the right spot, wouldn't it? Okay, here's Amos Otis, 1-5. 1-5 for Otis is a 1-14 home run. 15-20 is a double. And that's an 11, so Amos Otis, my man, goes yard. A homer off a Comer. And it is now 4-0. And the Texas bullpen may start to stir down there. Doc Medich, I believe, is loosening down there. Long relief. Here's George Brett. 2-5 for Brett is a ground ball to second. 2 down. And it brings up the catcher, Daryl Porter. 6-11 off a Comer is a fly ball left field X. The left fielder is Sample. He's a 3, whereas this would have been a 4. A 3 and a 4. So let's see if Sample can get to that. A 3 rated and a 4 is a double, so he couldn't get to it. It will fall in for a double in the gap, and Porter a 2-out double. Keep wanting to write Kansas City up there for some reason. I don't know why. Tell I'm rusty, I guess, at doing this. Been away for a couple of weeks and you get rusty. Alright, here's Cowens. 6'10". 6'10's a fly ball center field X. Center fielder's Oliver. He's a 3. And that's a 12, which is probably an error check. And it is. Anything 9 to 12 is an error check. Oliver error rating is a 10. He's an E10. That's a 7 on an E10. E10 and a 7 is a 2-base error on Al Oliver. And that will allow Porter to score, who just doubled there. So it's a E8, 2-base E8 on Al Oliver to allow Porter to score. No RBI given. And the Royals now lead it 5-0. Here is Pete Lecoq. 4-2 is a fly ball to center, and that's going to finally end the inning. But 2 more across, and it's 5-0 already. So the Royals laying it to Mr. Comer. We go to the 4th, and we'll have Buddy Bell to lead things off. I accidentally tried to write McRae's result there, so let's see what Bell actually does. It's a 2-7, and he's going to get a solid single, so I'll have to try to work around this. See if I can't get my score sheet straight. Here's Al Oliver. I have to be careful how I spoke. I almost said get my sheet straight, and that just didn't sound right. Didn't sound Christian. All right, 6-4. 6-4 Leonard against Oliver, a lefty, is a ground ball third base X, and Brett is a 2. That's an 18. That's a good play. A 2 and an 18 is a ground ball A. That's a 5-4-3 double play. So don't have to worry about Bell's little section there because he is erased on the twin killing. 2 down, and that brings up, so Oliver's had a rough inning, or a rough half inning. 2-base error and then grounds into a double play. So here's Gamble. 3-4, ground ball to second, and Dennis Leonard is in charge as he puts through the 4th inning with no problems whatsoever against Texas. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 5-0, and you wonder if Comer is going to be able to continue. They're going to give him one more chance, but they do have Medic in the bullpen. All right, here's Frank White. 110, and that's a single to right. So Comer on his last leg, I got a feeling. Here's Patek. 4-7 against Comer is a walk. So the first 2 are on for Willie Wilson. 2-11 is a ground ball second base B. It's a fielder's choice. So Wilson is on, and Patek is retired. 4-6. Runners at the corners. 1 out for Al McRae. And Willie Wilson's got a double-A stealer, but they're up 5-0, so they're going to go ahead and cool their jets and let McRae swing away. 2-11 is another walk, and that's going to load the bases for Amos Otis, who homered his last at-bat. And that's going to be all for Comer. They can't go any further with him. He just didn't have it today. Just not his day. Sometimes it's not your day. Sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield. So Doc Medich was loosening, but he's actually being called back. They're going to actually go to more of a relief pitcher, Jim Kern, to try to get out of the jam, and then maybe have Medich go long relief. So they're going to go with Kern. Jim Kern. We'll do the nasty totals on Comer later. Right now it is Kern facing McRae. Bases loaded, 1 out. I'm sorry, he's facing Amos Otis. McRae just walked. So it's Amos Otis. Bases loaded and 1 out. 5-6 is a strikeout. So Kern comes in and gets the strikeout. 2 down. Big strikeout there, but now he's got George Brett to deal with. 3-7 for Brett. Flies to center. That's the end of the inning. So great job by Kern to avoid any more trouble, and miraculously no runs are scored. So the score remains 5-0 after 4 innings. So all kinds of festivities going on there. Dennis Leonard enjoying all the run support. He will step to the bump. Start the fifth against Pat Putnam. That's a 4-8 off of Leonard is a strikeout against a lefty. So 1 away. Brings up Johnny Grubb. Texas looking for some offense. 5-6 against Leonard. They might get it. 1-4 is a triple. Anything else is a single. So at least that's something. At least that's something. 19 is a single though. So Grubb gets the minimum. A single. I'll bring up Billy Sample. 3-7 for Sample is a walk, and that's going to put 2 on with 1 out. And that's the first time tonight that the Rangers have had 2 runners on base at the same inning, or in the same inning. Sundberg. 6-6 for Sundberg, and he found a good one. 1-5 is a double. 6-20 is a single. The run will score. The shutout is gone. 5's a double. It's 2 stars. So only 1 run will score. Sample had to stop at third base. But the run is in. The shutout is gone. And the Rangers finally get on the board. And with 1 out, they still got a chance for more. Runners at second and third. The infield's going to play back. They got a lead, so they're going to play back. 1-7 is a strikeout. So it didn't matter where they were. Nelson Norman with the K. 2 down. It's up to Bump Wills to keep it going. 3-8 for Wills is a single to right field, so he did it. Base hit. We know Sample will score. What about Sundberg? The single went to right field. The right fielder for the Royals, Cowens, has a -4 arm. The run on second was not being held, Sundberg, because he was a trail runner. So let's check Sundberg, his run rating. Sundberg's run rating is an 11. I don't know if you give him extra two for 2 outs in the advanced game. I think you do, always do anyway, just because it's common sense. So that'll be 13 minus 4 is a 9. So a 1-9 and Sundberg will score. Or do you chance Buddy Bell getting the base hit to bring him home? Well, they're going to go ahead and risk it because they need a run if they can get it. So 1-9 and he will score. It's 12, he's out. So Cowens with the good arm takes him out 9-2 to end the inning. So they took a gamble, didn't pay off, but sometimes you have to do that to try to force some runs. But they do pick up 2 runs here in the 5th and cut the lead to 5-2. So all of a sudden, Texas back in the ball game. All right, Jim Kern is going to go out for another inning, and he'll be facing Darryl Porter, the catcher. 1-5 is a 1 for a double. Anything else will be a single. So that's a single, and Porter is 2 for 2 with a walk. Brings up Al Cowens, who just threw out Sundberg at the plate. 3-2, that's a ground ball, shortstop B, fielder's choice. 6-4. 1 away for Pete Lecoq. 1-4 is a pop out to first. 2 down, and it brings up Frank White. So Frank White, second baseman. We get a 5-4 off of Kern. Fly ball center field X, that's Oliver. He's a 3. And that's an 11, so I believe we're going to an error check again. He did make an error his last time. He is an E10. That's a 4, so an E10 and a 4 is another 2-base error. So rough night for Al Oliver, his second error of the game. Second error of the game. It's a 2-base error, which will send Cowens to third base. So runners at second and third, 2 outs for Freddie Patek. 2-5 for Patek is a ground ball to third. Inning is over, and Kern pitches around that mess again. So living dangerously, but still going on. And at the end of 5 complete, it is Kansas City 5, Texas 2. All right, Buddy Bell leads off against Leonard. His point of weakness, and he doesn't start until the 8th, so he's good to go for a while. 2-12 is a line out to second for Buddy Bell, 1 away. And here's Mr. Oliver's at a rough game. He's 0 for 2 with a double play and committed 2 errors. 1-7, and he finally makes up for it a little bit with a base hit. 1-10 is a double, and it is a double. So Al Oliver trying to redeem himself with that double. Here's Oscar Gamble. 4-6 against Leonard is a 1-5 single. 6-20, he will line to short. And it's a 9, so he lines to short for out number 2. Brings up Bump Wills. I'm sorry, wrong guy I picked up there. My bad. Had the wrong flip there. Wrong side of the stack. Here's Pat Putnam, and that's a 2-7 for Putnam, and that's a single to center for Putnam. Now the question is, will Oliver score? Otis again is a -4 arm, same as Cowan's. Oliver runs. Let's check his run rating. Al Oliver. The run rating for Al Oliver is a 14. He does get the boost of 2 with the 2 outs being a 16. He was not being held. -4 is a 12. So 1-12, he will score. And it is a 12. He barely made it. So Al Oliver slides in under the tag, and the lead is cut to 5-3 with Putnam. RBI single brings up Johnny Grubb. Now Leonard may need relief very shortly. 2-9 is another single for Grubb. Single to left, so Putnam's only going to go 1 base. But now the tying runs are on base for Billy Sample. 5-10 is a catcher X. Catcher in this case is Porter. He's a 2, and that's a 5. So catcher, 2 and a 5 is a wild pitch and a pop out. So it's a wild pitch by Leonard, and that's going to move the runners up an extra base, but then Sample pops out to the catcher to end the inning. So just the 1 run for Texas, but they'll take it. Cuts the lead to 5-3. Lead is cut to 5-3 as we go to bottom of the 6th, and Kern has pitched 2 and let's see how many innings. 2 2/3, I believe. So, but he's gonna give him 1 more inning because he's pitched so well. So it'll be top of the order, Willie Wilson to lead it off for the Royals. 5-8 against Kern is a strikeout. 1 away for Hal McRae. So Kern has definitely brought order to the Rangers pitching. 5-4 is a fly ball center field X. Here we go again with Al Oliver. He's a 3. That's a 17. So this time he will make the play. No error this time. 2 down for George Brett. I'm sorry, Amos Otis. I had Brett noticed backwards there. Brett was erroneously announced by me, so they're not batting out of turn. It's not their fault, it's mine. 5-8 against Kern is a strikeout. So Kern is going to give them an extra inning that they needed. And we go to the 7th with the tight ball game. Score is 5-3. And let's see about Leonard. They're going to let him stay out there, at least to start the inning, and we'll see what happens. It'll be Jim Sundberg to lead things off here in the top of the 7th, followed by Norman and Wills. 2-8 for Sundberg is a ground ball to third, 1 away, and that brings up Nelson Norman. Norman, a 5-9 against Leonard. A right-hander is a ground ball second. 2 down for Bump Wills. 5-4, switch hitter batting left. 5-4 is an in-home run, but Bump Wills against righties has weak power, so it's just going to be a single for Wills. Would have been a home run, but he's a weak power hitter against righties, so no home run. Here comes Buddy Bell. He does have power against righties. 112, but he won't get it. It's a ground ball to short plus injury. Not doing injuries, so no need to worry there. But the Rangers go down, and that's going to probably be all for Dennis Leonard. He gave him 7 good innings. That's probably enough for them. So we're going to 7th inning stretch time, and new pitcher for the Rangers is going to be left-hander Sparky Lyle. So Sparky Lyle in 79 was 5-8 with a 3.13 ERA. So with some lefties coming up, they're going to Sparky Lyle. We're facing Brett Porter, Cowens, and Lecoq. So 3 out of the 4 are left-handed hitters. So lefty on lefty is George Brett against Sparky Lyle. 6'10" against the lefty. Ground ball third base X. Buddy Bell's a 1. And that's a 17, so that's a good play for Buddy Bell. 5-3 ground out. And the Royals offense is kind of stagnated since Comer left the ball game. Here's Darryl Porter. 5-7, lefty on lefty. 5-7's a strikeout for Sparky Lyle. So 2 down, and here's Al Cowens. 5-5 against the right-hander is a ground ball to second. And Al Cowens is out. Sparky Lyle, a 1-2-3 inning. And just like that, the Rangers have made this a ball game after all. We go to the 8th. Still 5-3 Kansas City. And now we'll get a new pitcher for the Royals. And with some lefties coming up, the Royals are going to go to the Mad Hungarian, Al Raboski. The Mad Hungarian. Cards don't say how many saves he has. I don't remember how many he had. But he was, I guess, their closer, for lack of a better word. So Raboski is in. Now we could get a pinch hitter for Gamble because he's a lefty. Same with Oliver. So check the Ranger bench. They do have Richie Zisk. So Richie Zisk, I believe, is going to take over as the DH for Oscar Gamble. Because Gamble didn't... No, he did okay against the lefties, but not that great. Richie Zisk owned lefties. So we're going to have Al Oliver lead off, and then Richie Zisk is going to pinch hit for Gamble and stay in the game to play DH. So Zisk will pinch hit in the 8th, stay into DH. But first things first, it is Al Oliver. Doubled his last trip. 6-10 for Raboski against the lefty is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Patek. He's a 3. That's a 17. It's a good play. 1 away. And now that brings up Richie Zisk. And in 79, he had 18 home runs. But if you look at his column 3 here against lefties, he has a lot of home runs there. Let's see what he can do. If he can find column 3. No, he found column 1. 1/8 though is a walk, so that's not bad. He'll take it. He has brought the tying run to the plate, and Pat Putnam. Putnam against lefties, not all that great either. Let's see if they have anybody on the bench they can bring in as a right-hander. Let's see, they could bring in Eric Soderholm. He doesn't necessarily do all that well against lefties though. So they may, see, John Ellis. Actually, they're going to bring up backup catcher John Ellis is going to pinch hit. And he will stay in the game. He is rated to play first base, so he will stay in the game to play first base. Pinch hitting here in the 8th, and then first base in the 8th. He is a 4 E25, so not very good, but might get away with it for 2 innings. So Ellis is on against Raboski. 6-3 is a ground ball second base X. Frank White is a 1. That's a 20, so that's a double play. 6-4-3 is going to end the 4-6-3 rather is going to end the inning. That is the 3rd double play Texas has hit into. So Ellis, not very good there. He kind of bit the bit there, killed the rally. And now we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Sparky Lyle will stay in for his 2nd inning of work. He'll be facing the left-handed hitting first baseman Pete Lecoq. Not going to pinch hit for him. He wants to keep him in there for defense. 6-4. Lyle, 6-4, gives up an in-home run on 1-13, although Lecoq is weak power. So 1-13 is actually going to be a single. 14-20 will be a double. To 2, so it's a single for Pete Lecoq. So it would have been a home run, but he has weak power against lefties. So that will bring up Frank White. White, 2-6 against the lefty. Pop out to short. That's one away for Freddie Patek, shortstop. 4-4. Lyle against the right-hander. 4-4. Fly ball center field extra. Back to the adventures of Al Oliver again. He's a 3, but that's a 19. He'll make the play again. So 2 good plays in a row by Oliver. 2 down for Willie Wilson. That's a 4-10. Switch hitter batting right. 4-10 to pop out to third. And that's taken over there by Bell to end the inning. So we go to the 9th. We go to the 9th here in Kansas City. Score: Royals 5 and Texas 3. And Roboski will be in to try to close things out again. His second inning of work. He will be in to try to seal the deal. Kansas City bullpen does have a little activity going just in case. And leading off for the Rangers will be Johnny Grubb, but he doesn't do well against lefties, so they're going to see if they have anybody left on the bench to use. They've already used Zisk. They do have Soderholm, so they're going to use Eric Soderholm as a pinch hitter. And if they happen to send it to extras or at the bottom of the 9th, they do have Mickey Rivers to play the outfield. So a lot of wheeling and dealing here. Soderholm is in to pinch hit for Grubb here in the 9th. Another righty trying to get something off the lefty Roboski. 6-7 is a base hit. Look at that. 6-7 is a base hit. Actually, against the lefty, 6-7 would have been a triple, but you're playing the percentages. So either way, Soderholm with a base hit, and in fact, Soderholm now is going to be lifted for Mickey Rivers as a pinch runner. So Mickey Rivers, and he'll stay in the game to play the outfield. Actually, he'll probably move to center field and move Al Oliver to the corners. So Mickey Rivers is going to be a pinch runner. So we do have Mickey Rivers as the pinch runner. And we have Billy Sample, the tying run at the plate. Nobody out. 1-9 against the lefty. And Sample, 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a double. It's a 2, so it's a triple for Billy Sample. And Rangers have come just about all the way back as Rivers scampers in to cut the lead to 5-4. 4 unanswered by the Rangers. And now the Royals may have to go to their bullpen and pull Roboski. He's just about lost it. So let's see who they're going to go to here. Looks like it could be Marty Patton, the right-hander, or it could be Larry Gura, another lefty. You're going to go to Marty Patton, the righty. I have very limited cards. I don't have Quisenberry or some of the better relievers, so I'm going to have to go with who I have, and that is Marty Patton. So Marty Patton is in a tough spot. They're going to have to bring the infield in to try to choke the runoff. Here's Sundberg. Six-7 struck him out. Big, huge strikeout for Patton. And timeout, we have kitty interference. Okay, this is the kitty interference I was talking about. So I had to put a minor stop in the action while the kitty gets her pettings, and it allows me to finish off this ball game, or at least continue it. Tabby, you need to get down now. Come on. Oh, you just knocked over my D20. Thanks a lot. Alright, we'll pause the video while I get my dice back. Okay, hopefully restoring a little law and order here, and kitty-free zone, at least up top here. She's underneath the table. Here's Nelson Norman. And we get a 4-5 off of Patton. 4-5 against Patton is a ground ball shortstop X. Remember, the infield is still in. So ground ball shortstop X. And that is Patek. He is a 3. E34, but he's a 3. It's a 17, so a 3 and a 17 is a ground ball B. So let's look at the chart. And let's see how the infield in will do. If I look at my little book here for my cheat sheet. Infield in, ground ball B, with a runner at third is a 7. 7 says batter safe, lead runner is out. So how about that? Lead runner is out. So that's the way it said in the book. That's what I'm going to go by. So it's a fielder's choice, and Sample is nailed at the plate 6-2 by Patek. So the Rangers unable to tie the score. There are 2 outs now with Norman at first and Bump Wills the batter. 5-8 for Patton against a lefty. Switch hitter batting left. 5-8. Pop out to second. That's going to be your ball game. So a valiant comeback by the Rangers falls 1 run short. And again, I'm just getting used again to the advanced rules here. So I'm just going by what it says right here in this book. Ground ball B with the infield in is a number 7, which says batter safe, lead runner out at first. So I'm playing it by what's in the book, so I'm hopefully doing that correctly. At least I think I am. Logically, you could say, well, maybe you could say that Sample wouldn't try to score, but I think he would. He's got good speed. So just the way it worked out. And Kansas City, after leading 5-0 early, hangs on for a 5-4 victory, and the Royals defeat the Rangers in this tribute part 2 or 2.0 maybe to Derek Oxenrider and his brother. If this is well received, then maybe we'll try to make this an annual occurrence on July 13th every year, or we'll just see how it goes. But that's gonna do it from here. Again, this is my first video on YouTube for several weeks, as I've been taking a little bit of a hiatus and just enjoying some games on my own. But it was good to get back in the saddle, as they say. So until next time, hope you all enjoyed that presentation of Strat-o-matic Baseball Advanced version. And hopefully, Derek, if you're out there, you were doing well. And we definitely, of course, sorry to hear about what happened to your brother, but if we can bring back at least a small good memory, then that's we try to do that as best we can. So until next time, I will see you all down the road.